What's up, guys? It's Dylan. I forgot to make an intro for this video, so this will be the intro. This video is basically me just breaking down my transformation, how I got into the best shape possible physically and mentally, and built habits that are going to last me the rest of my life, and how I became the man I am today. So, if you're looking to change your life, get out a pen and paper, because this video is full of information. Take some notes, implement it, put it in 2x speed if you have to, because you got the, short attention span just like me. I understand. But anyway, focus up, and I'll see you in the next one. Alright, guys, this is it. I am going to drop all of the sauce on how I got into the best shape of my life, physically and mentally. Realistically, my entire journey and transformation has been over the last 4 years, and I have been able to replicate my transformation. When I fell off in only 128 days, I've built the most bulletproof and best program, not only to get into shape physically, but also mentally. You can take just this video, and implement it without working with me specifically, and you can still get amazing results. So I'm going to break down every single thing, all of my philosophies and programs, everything that I've built out and have come to realize. I call it the alchemist method because that's one thing that got me really into this whole transformation after being in the gym for about 2 years, and I still looked like the left picture. That's 2 years in the gym. Fat, feel like shit, depressed, and no real purpose. I read the book The Alchemist, and that's where everything started to change, right? As you can see, this is more than a fitness method. It is a life philosophy, and only the committed will get results. So if you are actually consistent, you can get insane results. As you can see, last year on the right, that was me, the leanest I've ever been. Let's get into it. Let me move this out of the way. How I became an initiate, right? This is when I first started out lifting. As you can see, this is me, literally like first month in the gym. Skinny, mentally weak, and I started following mainstream advice, as most people do, through YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. You get obsessed with all these people like Greg Doucette, all this advice that's like really perpetrated by steroid users or people that really just don't understand average people. Like, I would say I have good genetics, but even without this, like, I've put people on, like my friends and people I've coached that don't have the best genetics, they still are able to get insane results. All right, I made progress, but I still lacked confidence, right? This is me a couple years into the gym. This second photo, I was probably the strongest I've ever been. I hit 315 on bench, one of my biggest goals. I was able to squat 500 pounds, deadlift over 500 pounds as well. But I was doing everything, the popular way, the Instagram, TikTok, lifting way. I had a terrible diet, which is why I looked like shit and felt like shit, consuming massive amounts of caffeine, pre-workout energy drinks, and eating insane amounts of terrible processed food, protein shakes, Fairlifes, you name it, right? And this is when everything changed for me. I ended up in the hospital because one of the worst pains ever, not the worst, but one of the worst I've ever felt. I had stomach ulcers because of all of the energy drinks and just how I destroyed my gut microbiome. Got stomach ulcers. I thought I was cooked. Like, I thought it was over for me. In the hospital. Came back, right? Got back in the gym and I started bulking up the right way. This is me over 200 pounds. This was probably the beginning of last year, I want to say. And then this is me cutting the right way, because I went through years of bulking and cutting through mainstream advice, and it just left me looking like the second photo. Nothing really changes because you're in a constant cycle of bulking and cutting. You're not putting on size, and you're not really losing a lot of fat at the end of the day. So I got insanely lean last year, the leanest I've ever been, while retaining like 90% of my strength. I could still bench and deadlift, although I don't do those things as much anymore because of injuries. All of my lifts are still going up to this day on all my exercises. And then this is me at the end of last year when, I shaved my head. I look even bigger while still staying lean. Obviously, through this entire process, I built an indestructible mind, developed lifelong habits that, it only takes about a month to create a habit. It also takes that long to break a habit. I built my mind and body so that I can become confident. I am confident. This guy up here, these guys up here, these versions of me are not confident. This version of me down here, yes, I am confident, which is why, one of the reasons why I was able to shave my head, because I love my hair so much. I was so cocky, I guess, and comfortable in my body with what I, can say that I kept promises to myself, and I built such a great physique and mentality that I said, fuck it. Like, this is a new chapter of my life, shave my head. And it didn't look too bad, but that was a risk I was willing to take, peanut head. Could have been. Whatever. I'm yapping. Here it is, the initiation test. This program is meant for people who feel like something is off. Body, mind, and spirit, right? This is all encompassing way that I have kind of changed my mentality. If you work hard but you feel stuck physically and mentally, people who want to create sustainable muscle, effortless discipline, and inner power, anyone who is ready to upgrade their physique and mindset, take into account that's both, they go hand in hand. This is not for people who are looking for shortcuts or hacks. If you want to follow mainstream advice, the Greg Doucette way, Sam Sulek way, whatever it is, this is not that. If you're unwilling to rewire your habits and your beliefs, all right, you have to cut out everything that's detrimental to you, whether you like it or not, all your comforts, right out the window. If you want to get ripped but not grow mentally or emotionally, this is the reason why I am able to kind of put the whole package together. I'll get into that later, but there has always been a disconnect with the mainstream, with mental and physical, because you follow the mainstream, you get body dysmorphia, right? That's how I was. I felt like, look at this. Let me go back to, how do I go back to the first page? On the left side, that was me, body dysmorphia, which, it's not really body dysmorphia if you do kind of look like shit, but still, I was bigger than everyone. I'm over 200 pounds here, insanely strong, but you build a terrible self-image when you follow mainstream advice. So today I'm showing you the alchemist way, the way in which you turn your body and your mind into gold, from lead into gold. If you understand the alchemist, you'll understand that. You want to transmute mediocrity into mastery. All right. So we're breaking some myths, breaking the matrix. Here we go. Andrew Tate. The matrix is not about the Bugattis, but obviously you don't need to live in the gym. I significantly cut down my time in the gym. I probably only go to the gym 2 or 3 days in a row now, with a rest day after that. So maybe I'm in the gym 5 days a week at most. Sometimes I take more rest days, but when I'm in the gym, I'm only in the gym for about like 30 minutes to an hour. That's all you really need. You don't need to eat like a robot. All right, it doesn't have to be mindless. You can still enjoy what you're eating, which is, what I've done. I enjoy what I eat, even though I don't eat a lot, which is why I'm able to stay lean. You don't need to count macros. Yes, you need to track them. You need to have some sort of idea, obviously, but I've way past the phase of tracking calories and macros. And you don't have to pop pills or do soul-killing cardio. Stop taking all supplements. Stop killing myself with cardio. Yes, I do some form of cardio, walking, that's about it. But I'm not running anymore, unless I want to build up my cardiovascular health. To get into great shape, you don't need to do that. The system people are following, for the most part, is flawed. And it's designed to keep them stuck, because most people or coaches nowadays, they want to keep you in a sense of dependency. This is meant to make you independent so you can think on your own. Yes, hello, we're trying to develop your IQ here so you can think and do all these things on your own without having to depend on anything. You don't need what is it called? MyFitnessPal, right? I literally lived on that app the past few years. And now I don't even use it. I don't track nothing, right? I just mentally keep track of my workouts, but that's about it. The whole message is you have been misled. You don't need more discipline. More discipline. You're not trying to force yourself. Oh, I hate this. It's got to be fun. You need a better philosophy. All right? So this is me. Yeah, look crazy. Whatever. All right. Phase 1. This is it. We're getting into the good stuff. Phase 1. We are burning the false self, right? The first part in every great journey is you need to create a new identity. You need to kill that old version of yourself. Great book right here, the Bible. You should read it. Whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for my sake will find it, right? You are going to lose your old life. Correct. Here we go. Core goals. We are detoxing the body and mind, breaking all your old habits, fixing your body physically. Number one thing that I know best, the gut microbiome, the food you're putting into your body, literally affect your mind, all right? We're going to get back to the basics. Everything's going to be very simple. Simplicity. Establish new physical and spiritual habits. Whatever that is for you, it can be different, but you want to be doing some sort of self-reflection. That's a huge thing that I've implemented into my daily routine. And you're going to build momentum through discipline, right? Discipline comes with action, right? You make promises to yourself, keep them. That's what builds discipline and motivation. All right. Eliminate processed foods. If God didn't make it, don't eat it. If it doesn't come from the earth, the animals, realistically, you're poisoning yourself. Let's be honest. Even if it does, like cold cuts, processed shit, you want to try to eat as whole as possible, right? Number one thing that I've implemented, not only for my physical health, but mental, is fasting. I like to try to do 24-hour fasts here and there whenever I need a reset, but realistically, most days I'm only fasting for at least 16 hours. Sometimes I go through phases where I'll only eat one meal a day, maybe two, but you want to wait after you wake up to eat for a good few hours in the afternoon. Skip breakfast. It's going to give you the best mental clarity, and you're going to look nice and not bloated. And then you want to stop eating at least 3 hours before bed so you can get the best sleep, right? Go for walks. I love doing this. After eating, all the time I go for digestion walks. Walk whenever you need to detox. Gives you some time alone, especially if you don't bring your phone. Cold showers. Doesn't have to be cold showers specifically, but anything to kind of build your discomfort and your mental fortitude. That's one of the hardest things, along with waking up early for me. That has helped me create a new identity and shift my mindset. Seed retention. This is the most obvious one everyone talks about. It was huge on YouTube a couple years ago. But yes, there is implications to your body physically and mentally when you turn to lust, right? Hold that shit in. You'll understand if you have done it for a long time. Digital discipline, cut scrolling, entertainment, porn. Yes, start the day without your phone, end the day without your phone. If you need to doom scroll, schedule it accordingly. Sometimes I do that. I'll add in 15, 30 minutes where I actually look through social media and I'm mindless. But you want to try to minimize that because I know everyone has been there you're putting in a full unpaid part-time job shift on your phone, basically 8 hours a day. You are scrolling, wasting your time. You're not getting paid for it. Cut that out. Journaling. Number one biggest thing that has changed my life because you're able to reflect. Here's a good prompt. And save this. Write it down. Answer this for yourself. What am I enslaved to? What does God want me to release? Here's some biblical, esoteric support. Some things that you can read through. Manly P. Hall, Carl Jung, Jesus. Things you should look into and that have affected my philosophy. Phase 2. All right. I know I spent a little time on phase 1, but here's phase 2. We're going to forge the inner fire. After you break and create a new identity, we are going to build a strong and functional body, right? Because what's the point if you look good, if you can't even walk up a flight of stairs, because that's what I was. When I was the strongest I ever was, I got winded walking upstairs. It's kind of pointless. You don't want to be one of those big-ass guys that can't, you're not functional. You want to be a capable man, right? Optimize hormones. My testosterone looks amazing. I haven't taken any testosterone. When I was trying to optimize my testosterone through supplements and bullshit, I even considered getting on steroids. That's how bad my body dysmorphia was. But my shit was so low. It was like 200, 300s. Now, not even trying 600s easily. Just checked my blood work like a week ago. You're going to develop mental clarity and rewire your subconscious patterns, your thinking patterns, and all of that. You're going to train 4 to 6 times a week. Focus on compound lifts. That's exactly how you build the fundamentals. I kind of strayed away from that. I want to get back into it, but you want to focus progressive overload, intensity over duration. That's why I'm able to only work out for 30 minutes at a time and get good results, because you have to focus on intensity. Sunlight, vitamin D, a lot of people are lacking that. As you can see, I'm a little pale right now, so I need to It's been raining, so I need to go get a tan. But yes, I still spend time outside absorbing the sun. You need that hormonal fire. All right? Read up on this stuff. Structured eating, high protein, high fat, moderate carbs, whole foods, eggs, red meat, fruit. This is basic stuff you could find. You could ask ChatGPT and it'll tell you the same thing. But the difference is, what ChatGPT won't tell you is, from my personal experience, carbs, you don't want to eat them until later in the day. At least for me, especially fasting. Once I break my fast, I'm only eating protein, pretty much, maybe a little bit of fat. Carbs before my workout, maybe after my workout, definitely. And before bed, because anytime I eat carbs, instantly want to sleep. So, carbs are not the enemy. I still eat carbs, yes. Just not early in the morning. You don't want to do that. Sleep like a lion. Track sleep quality. Eliminate blue light. Wind down. Prayer, scripture, meditation, journaling. All that. End your day. You want to start reading. I know, reading. I never liked reading, but it makes you smarter, all right? Seed retention, redirection, all right? After you're retaining your life force energy, you're going to transmute it into other things. You will finally figure out your purpose, hopefully, and training. Obviously, my training has significantly improved once I started retaining, because it gives you a different type of energy, right? Daily checklist. All right. Another thing going along with journaling, you are going to create a daily checklist. You want to have a morning routine, nightly routine, and tasks for you to complete throughout the day to keep you scheduled. I never liked structure, but you need it. You literally need it to grow, especially if you're someone who is not very disciplined and you hate structure. Chances are you're running from the fact that you need structure in order to grow. That's just how it is. Journaling. Here's another journaling prompt. What would my life look like if I fully mastered myself? Here we go. Freemasonry, Hermetic wisdom, Carl Jung, great, and Jesus. Oh wait, let me go back. Look at this photo. This is me when I'm figuring all this out, right? Working 16-hour days and going to the gym afterwards. I could never dream of doing that when I was eating like shit and not focused on building my true potential. Right? All right. It's phase 3, final phase. You're going to embody a new man. You have been created anew. The whole point of this is to sustain your results, your mental and physical development. You're going to develop your calling, radiate energy, leadership, and faith, guide others through example, right? Exactly what I'm doing, guiding you through everything that I've figured out and created. Customize routine, refine your rhythm. What works for you long term, what aligns with your lifestyle and family. Serve others. Obviously, ultimate purpose, serving others, mentoring, leading, simply showing up with power. Build your vision. Fitness is the foundation, because without that discipline in your life, it's going to be hard. I mean, not saying it's impossible, but it really is the foundation of a man. Peak recovery, yes. Obviously, infrared sauna, nature, scripture, meditation, prayer. Fix your mind, your body will follow. Walking, never stop walking, fasting, and seeking. Always want to be constantly improving and learning. I am, till this day. Never am I going to say I have it all figured out, because at that point I might as well be dead, because you always need to be learning. Journaling, again, obviously you see it's a very big part of my philosophy. What is God calling me to create? How do I serve this body He gave me? Obviously, with my genetics, clearly I wasn't meant to be covered up by fat. I'm here to give this information to you, right? Be a light in the darkness. Carl Jung, individuation is what you want to kind of work your mind through. Know yourself. It's the whole point. You're going to push yourself to know yourself. That's the only way you got to suffer. Pick up your cross, bro. All right. Yes. Look better, feel better, live better. That's pretty much it. Changed my physique and my mentality because I became an alchemist. Through the journey, I left my home last year, took big risks. You have to get to a point where you just say, fuck it. And you just got to go. You got to take a risk. Got to get uncomfortable. Look at how ugly that is. That's so ugly. And then boom, LooksMax University. What all these people are selling online. I should sell a LooksMaxing course, honestly. But here it is. This is the LooksMaxing. Fucking get into shape. Eat right. Fast. That's like the biggest thing. De-bloat. Like, fix your gut. All this shit. You're going to have great skin. Not be bloated. If you just eat right. That's literally it. Creating structure. It's all together. Boom. The door opens. This resonates. You feel it in your bones that I want to work with you. All right, let me before I get into the sales pitch. Oh yeah, I wrote this isn't a sales pitch, it's a calling. There's a reason I wrote that. I'm not trying to sell you. I'm trying to help you, whoever's watching this. Don't work with me. I want you to implement this on your own. The only reason you should be looking for a coach is when you can't hold yourself accountable. That's the whole point. Is for me to help you implement the things that I taught you. Because information is free. It's out there. Figure all this out on your own. And if you can't hold yourself accountable, boom, you can click the link, book a call, and I'll just walk you through the whole process. But this is a rite of passage. What you need to do, number one, pick up a journal, reflect every single day, schedule your day, make checklists, morning routine, tasks for the day, nightly routine. Start reading, cut down on scrolling, eat whole foods, train hard. That's pretty much the philosophy of my life. And that's pretty much what you're going to get in every other program in terms of like fitness. They're just going to tell you to eat, stick you on a meal program, eat this, train however you want. Just train hard. That's it. You don't have to train for a long time. Low reps, high intensity, heavy weight. Eat good. Figure out your body. Stick to the basics. And you can transform. Read up on these great texts. Read The Alchemist. Learn how to become an alchemist, because you transform yourself from lead into gold. That is the whole philosophy. Find your purpose and become the best man you can be. That is my whole goal in life, is to figure out how to be the best version of myself and help others achieve that same thing, because A lot of these people, this new generation, I feel like is very lost. I felt that way. And I'm telling you exactly how to avoid that. And if you're still clueless, boom, you can work with me. That's it. There's all the sauce. If you have any other questions, anything specific, you can DM me on Instagram. I will answer them. Follow me on Instagram. I'll be posting every single day on my story. And that's pretty much it. Become an alchemist, individuate, and become the best version of yourself. Good luck. If you decide to take on this challenge, let me know because I want to see real results. I want to see everyone coming for the mainstream because the fitness kind of a community is changing. Let's be honest. People are waking up to the bullshit. There's a lot of fads out there, a lot of extremes on both ends with like the test maxers, looks maxers, and then the soy boys. Here we're trying to take the whole thing and put it all together, become the best. I wish you luck. And become an alchemist. That's it. That is it.